welcome to the Nail Engineer, and this week we've got a Wedgwood inspired manicure. I've achieved this look with two Madam Glam colours. Those are Perfect White on my pinky and Vintage Blue on all of the other nails, and I've got 3 coats of both of those, and you might not need that many, but I've got really white tips, so I need to use more paint than perhaps some other people can get away with. Those are all top coated with Madam Glam, and here we've got this hand ready to stamp to show you the designs. For the stamping you're going to need 2 colours, and this is really cool. I actually found this shortly after I bought the Vintage Blue, and I had been thinking about a Wedgwood inspired look because of the shade of blue that it is, and I just thought that I would have a little look to see if I could get a one that was pretty much exactly the same colour, and it really is. It's like so close you can barely tell. There, that's a bit better with light. So this is Nails ink, and it's called the Little Boltons, and it's pretty perfect for this look, as you can see there. And my other stamping polish on all of the other nails, I've got a smudged Kelly in Dolly, which is white. I've got my 2 jelly stampers for stamping, and that's because I need to be able to invert some of the images and see exactly where I'm putting them on the nail. Yeah, so with Wedgwood you've got kind of natural images, lots of birds, kind of think shabby chic kind of stuff. Princess Moyu Princess number 4 would be pretty cool with the little bird cages, and I prefer this one. And on this design, if it will focus, I've done 2 just because it's a really diddy design, and I wanted a little bit more white on the nail. I didn't want it to look lost. Fairy Tale is where we get the Pegasus from, and that's Fairy Tale number 2, and that's this design here. And don't worry about all of this crap that's around it, I can show you how to get around that. I've got a bundle monster plate here, which I've used this kind of French image for, which looks quite effective, and also it's very a very Wedgwood pattern. Then we've got Princess number 7, which I used on my mermaid manicure. This time I am using this kind of profile Cameo. And finally Tourist for the pinky, and this is like a Moscow plate. It's Tourist number 13, and it's this kind of large urn or vase, which I thought would be cool to do like a reverse Wedgwood, because Wedgwood made a lot of vases which are blue with a white design on. I think you see where I'm going with this. Okay, so as I mentioned, put your polish on, top coat with the matte top coat, which is no wipe and provides a really good base. For the stamping, I'm going to do my blue design first, get that one out of the way. So I'm using my Tourist plate with my blue polish, and if it's regular nail polish I do tend to use a little bit more of it, than stamping polish, because it can be a bit thinner. So any excess that you don't want, you can carefully remove with your finger or go in with a lint roller, and hopefully you can see this here where I'm placing it. Sorry, I'm being extra careful because I kind of can't see it when I'm doing it so that you can see it. It's a little tiny bit wonky, but I'm quite happy with that. On to the next one, and we'll have our little bird cages. And as you can see, I've got one to the top corner, so I'm going to invert that and put it to this corner, and then one kind of midway down on the other side. Got my smudged Kelly and Dolly. And you only need to use a little bit. Small design, good polish. That's picked up fine. So this corner I want. Oh, it's going blurry. Get that on the nail there. And yeah, that's better. So you can see that's pretty close. So always wipe down between stamping. Get my second bird cage. Again, don't need too much polish. Now if you have any little swipe marks, you can just get them off carefully with a lint roller. Sorry if you can't see that. And then let's place this in the right place on my nail. There you go. It's a little bit lower than the other one, but it'll do. So now let's go for the Cameo profile. And I must apologise for the poorness of the border around the Cameo profile on my other hand, but I did have to do it left-handed. If you get any excess, like these little streaks here, sorry, going off camera, these little streaks you can just carefully scrape off with an orange stick or a dotting tool, because bear in mind that we're going on to a matte top coat surface, so it's going to be pretty hard to get that image off if it's not right. Let's try to get her in the middle of the nail if we can. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so let's get the French design on my index finger, or pointer as some people prefer to call it. And on this one, this does tend to kind of streak a little bit, so there may be some picking off required. Let's see how it picks up. Actually, that's not bad. That's all right. And let me just place this off camera where I can see. Maybe you could see that as well. There we go. And if you get any little bits kind of lifted off, that's okay. You can kind of tuck them under. Let's move on to the thumb, which is the final nail, and that's this lovely Pegasus design. I have got a Pegasus on its own on one of my princess plates, but I just find, especially for a thumb, this is a larger design, and you kind of need a larger design for the thumb, otherwise it'll just look a bit lost there. Now for this Pegasus, I'm going to need to invert it. As you can see, it's on my other thumbnail the same way that it's on the plate, so I'm going to need to invert it. Can be a little bit hit and miss, but you generally want to use a bit extra polish so that it's not going to dry as quickly. Pick it up with one stamper and then quickly transfer it over to the other like that. And then with your dotting tool, you're going to get rid of all this crap that you don't want on the nail, because all you want is Pegasus. And it's a bit of a tricky job. So I'm just going to take this off camera and finish it off, because I really need to work quickly, otherwise it's going to dry and it's not going to want to go on the nail at all. But it's super important that I don't have any bits of crap, especially if they're close to the design. They're going to be virtually impossible to get off my thumb without spoiling the entire thing. Oh, actually I already have some on there. How on earth have I managed that? That's better. Please don't dry, please don't dry. Okay. Let's see. That's the way that I want this on the thumb. Well, it's a miracle. I really thought that it'd been on the stamp too long, but it has gone on there. Okay, so let's finish off the manicure before top coating with the oval kind of dotted frame. And for this, I just get a dotting tool. Some people like to decant the polish. I don't. When it's stamping polish, it will dry fast. So you do not want to decant this, because when it dries, it goes stringy. See what's happening there? See that I've only got the tiniest little dot on there? So I prefer to just do this. Keep the polish moist. Come on, refocus. That's better. And fluid. And yeah, it's a bit of a ball ache, but if you're going to be wearing these nails for up to 3 weeks, an extra 10 minutes here will make it look really nice. And you can see that I've put my 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock on first. And that's just to try to get as regular a shape as I can. And you can see that I'm wiping in between dots, just to try to avoid that drying up. So I'm just putting in 3 dots each in between the 12, 3, 6 and 9 o'clock. But like everything done by hand, it's really difficult to get it perfectly regular. But you know, I think that gives the overall effect that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wait for that to dry off properly, and then I'm going to top coat with Madam Glam No Wipe Matte Top Coat. And if the camera would please refocus, thank you. You can use 2 coats to be on the safe side, although with the matte top coat at least you can see if there's any voids, because they'll look suspiciously not matte, like over where the polish is. So it's up to you, whatever you prefer. Be safe with 2 coats, or just pop 1 coat on and have a real close look. And here is the finished look, all top coated and cured. And I'll show you each nail individually. There's your Pegasus on the thumb, and then your French design with the leaves, your Cameo inspired image, bird cages, and then the little vase. Hope you enjoyed this look, and I'll catch you in the next one.